Another episode of Jayo Sto Sports. We have a familiar face here again. My boy Day Day. What is poppin', my G?
What up? What up? I'm chilling. I'm ready to talk about these fights.
Yeah,
There's a
yeah,
lot to say.
we
We're giving away a lot of content before the
mm,
video started.
yeah, for sure. All right, obviously we're gonna talk about UFC 295, which is happening this weekend. But there was a blockbuster fight that happened a few weeks ago in Saudi Arabia. And big up to everybody in Saudi Arabia. They put together a great event. They had all the legends there, current legends like Usyk was there, McGregor was there, Bivol, Beterbiev, and obviously they had older legends, many boxers there. Hasim Rahman, obviously Mike Tyson, he was training, Francis Ngannou. So you have to appreciate what they had going on. Lennox Lewis was there. Did Francis Ngannou get robbed?
Absolutely, he got robbed, and it was actually crazy because when I was watching the fight, when the third round, okay, the first and second round, it was like, yo, Francis is actually like here. Like he didn't look bad. Like you seen the videos of him hitting pads before the fight.
But I don't rate those. Like,
and,
okay,
and
anybody,
it
it's
was it was
different in
looking
a
so
fight.
slow. It was looking so slow, and I'm like, I don't know how he's gonna look against Fury. And then he drops him in the third round. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh. I called my brother on the phone. I'm like, yo, and we're just like, yo, this is crazy.
of course.
And then he was in the fight.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
dropped some rounds just from being inactive, but there was a moment in the eighth or ninth round. I can't
Eighth
remember.
round, he was putting the pressure on him.
Yo, I thought he was gonna knock him
Eighth
down
round,
again.
he could have knocked him out.
I thought it was over. And then I'm
Eighth,
like, yo, this is crazy. And what's even crazier is I was talking to my oldest brother before, like a week or two before the fight, and I'm like, yo, the fight to go to decision actually is like a good payout. But like I'm like, yo, I don't know if like because I didn't know if Fury was really gonna be able to knock Ngannou out because Ngannou was fresh. He didn't take damage in the Cyril Gane fight.
no.
He got clipped a little bit in the Stipe Miocic fight, but other than that, the knee injuries, yeah, but he's been fresh. He hasn't taken a lot of damage.
No.
Even in his MMA career, it's not like he was one of those fighters that was fighting for 20 years. He only picked up the sport in the last decade or so, right?
And he
So
and he
he was
finished
able to
a lot of
take
guys
shots well.
quickly also.
Yeah, he was finishing guys quickly.
Yeah.
And so that was crazy. I wasn't surprised that Tyson Fury got the robbery
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because even in the but I was surprised the commentary was giving so much credit to Ngannou. You know what I mean? That
Well,
surprised me.
that surprised me
Watching
also
the
because Tim Bradley doesn't know anything about MMA, and Tim Bradley was ripping Ngannou before the
yeah,
fight, and many boxers were saying Ngannou had no chance, which surprised me because, but again, I'm being biased because Devin Haney and Bud Crawford, those are two of my favorite fighters. So for me to hear them say, "Oh, this guy has no chance," it showed me that MMA and boxing, there's no love there. These guys don't watch each other. Because
yeah,
if you look at what Ngannou has done and how he's knocked people out, you've seen what he did to Overeem, the uppercut, and he was going
yeah,
backwards, destroyed him. What he did to Rosenstruck, less than 20 seconds, just a
yeah,
flurry of punches, stopped him. And then the rematch against Stipe, the straight left, dropped him, and then the straight left again to stop him. This guy
yeah,
has dynamite in those fists. And remember, he started boxing before MMA. So I always knew this guy, Francis Ngannou, had a chance because he's been a dog in UFC. And now you're telling me he's gonna get a once in a lifetime opportunity and he's gonna be able to stick it to Dana? I knew he was gonna have a good showing. He got robbed, man. Obviously a 10-8 round, because he got the knockdown in round three. And then the way he was dominating in round eight, that could be a 10-8 round too, bro.
hmm
So the only reason Fury obviously got the win is because the Usyk fight, and obviously that's BS, man.
yeah. And even the whole afterwards in the post fight interviews when everyone was getting in the ring, it was so awkward because like there was this energy that was like, "Yo, a robbery just happened," and then you're really
Hmm.
gonna bring Usyk in the ring, and to say what you're talking about, it shows how much hatred is between the two sports. It goes back like from the beginning of the sport. You could see in the mid early 2000s, Joe Rogan was on an ESPN interview arguing with a guy about MMA versus boxing, and there's always been that kind of
Yeah, there's a
clash
rift
between the
there.
communities.
There's 100% a rift there. You see how much Dana hates Oscar De La Hoya, absolutely hates his guts. You see how much he can't stand Steven Espinosa. I'm sure when he heard the news about Showtime ending at the end of the year, he was probably doing his happy dance somewhere. And
Yeah,
it is what it is. Yeah, Dana has succeeded. He's done his thing in UFC. But at the end of the day, boxing, if there was no boxing, bro, there would be no MMA. We all know that.
no,
There would
yeah.
be no MMA. But we see these big stars when they get together, it's a big deal. Like you have Ronaldo going to that fight. It's crazy. Like you
Yeah.
could only get it like once every 10 years, maybe, or 15 years, maybe. Maybe we'll see it more. I doubt it, but like it
With,
needs.
with with Saudi getting into sports, I think you're
Yeah.
going to see a lot more events like that because I'm pretty sure when you go over there, you don't get taxed, right? So the
Not
10 mil, the 10 mil that Ngannou made is his 10 million versus if he were to fight at MSG, how much he'd get taxed. Or if they were to fight in Vegas, I don't know how much he'd get taxed there either. But in in New York, I heard it's a lot. Sean O'Malley says he doesn't ever want to fight in New York again, right?
That's
Because they
actually
tax so
funny that
much.
you mentioned. That's funny that you mentioned him because he was mentioning Devin's name or Tank, or I know he's been in the news about, oh, he wants to fight Tank or Devin, but uh, he wasn't saying that before he got the belt. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It's just funny how clout can change a man's
yeah,
mindset. It's like, dude, both of those guys are gonna deal with you. Actually, yeah, the he Tank will obviously knock him out, but you never know Devin Haney. Devin Haney is good,
yeah.
technically, but he doesn't have knockout power. So that's the only reason I say you never know. But Tank, there's no chance in hell that he'll stand a chance.
The problem for me with the whole boxing and MMA, like that whole situation is the fact that when they combine, it's never in good faith. Like them talking about each other is purely clout. You know what I mean? Because no boxer ever wants to give MMA credit or even wants to get involved with MMA until there's big money involved. That's the whole issue with Dana White and Oscar De La Hoya stemmed from was because Oscar De La Hoya was dissing that. Well, he was dissing that whole thing, and
Yeah.
then he wanted to do it. He was talking about how he wanted to do fights with McGregor, but then when Floyd Mayweather and McGregor was made, he was talking trash, and that's what Dana White and him have problems for. So that'll never happen. O'Malley and Devin Haney will never box. Him and Javante will never box.
Mm.
There's more money in boxing, so they'll never ever go to MMA. There's no reason for a boxer to go to MMA. When James Toney did it, he got washed up real quick by Randy Couture, and it was
James
very fast.
Tony.
Yeah, Clarissa Shields, Holly Holm. They've made the transition, but out of that, Clarissa Shields, she hasn't fought in MMA in a while. Mhm.
Yeah, no. You're totally right. And yeah, James Tony, his nickname is Lights Out, and that's clearly what that's clearly what happened to him, man.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, and again, Tank and O'Malley, it's gonna be probably not gonna happen because if Tank's not even fighting Haney or Teo or Shakur, it's not, you know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
There's way more fights that need to happen.
It doesn't
O'Malley
add,
hasn't even fought enough people in MMA to even call for that fight.
it doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense. But man, in the ring afterwards, all the Instagram posts, everybody knows Francis won. You've seen Dame, he posted on that. You've seen Braun posted on that. Man said that's
Yeah,
why
yeah. This is
man
why I
said
don't
that's
watch
why he doesn't
boxing.
watch boxing.
That had me
That's what
dead.
that no. Once I see that, I was like, yeah, like everyone's saying it. It's all over Twitter, it's all
Mm.
over IG. But yeah, man, if there's one guys whose stock has risen to the top, it's Francis. any avenue. He could take any avenue right now, and it's a win for him. Honestly, yeah. Ariel Helwani, he obviously was like the front runner of talking about Francis being that guy and giving
Hmm.
him his respects. And that's why he's the goal of what he does. Let's be
Yeah.
honest. All right, one more thing about this fight. Do you think, because you remember they mentioned that Usyk and the Fury fight would happen after, do you think that built up more fire in Ngannou? Because that's disrespect. How are you gonna announce another fight and your own fight hasn't even begun? Do you think that drove Ngannou more
Yeah.
to get that knockdown, get that win? We know he won.
I think that Ngannou, he had so much to. There was also a lot that he was sacrificing for this fight. Because if he went out there and got knocked out like everyone said he would, I don't think his stock would have dropped. Without Fury even booking the fight, what would his like? I wouldn't really care for his PFL matchups, but now it adds more to his whole overall value. But
He's about to be part owner of PFL now.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like that was crazy. But yeah, it's a this is a weird situation, man. Boxing is just
Yeah,
boxing
box.
has gone down the drain.
Yeah, and I was kind of, so one thing, all these boxers, and again, every time they step into the ring, they display their skill, they display their strength, they put their hearts on the line. And yeah, a lot of them have had bad results because of it. And again, like guys like Muhammad Ali, Pernell Whitaker, Marvin Hagler, Sugar Ray Robinson, RIP to all of those legends, because
Yeah,
they're like, you know what I'm saying? When you think of boxing, you think of those guys.
yeah.
But I'm hearing something from a current boxer, and I hope he's not suffering no early symptoms, but Wilder is saying that he wants to do a 2-fight deal, one in MMA, one in boxing. We know UFC guys will go to boxing, that's fine. But come on. Boxing guys going to MMA, they're gonna get destroyed. They're gonna get crippled. He's obviously capping, right? Or is he still acting like the same guy when he claimed that Fury cheated?
He's capping because it there's no reason for him to go to MMA. It's not like where Ngannou had the fire of like, yo, the UFC is done. He lost the potential biggest fight of his career with John Jones, and then he fought Tyson Fury and made all that money, and now he has so much more to look forward to.
All that
Wilder
money
already
and
had the
more.
big, yeah, Wilder already had the big fights, and even to call back to what you were saying before with Ngannou, the added fire with the that booked fight, like that's disrespect.
Oh my
And
god.
I heard him saying on the an interview where he has other things he's looking forward to as well. Like he's going back to MMA after it. So of course he's gonna book the fight, but like or he's gonna like have things he looks forward to after and he's looking past the fight as well. But Fury booked the fight.
Mm,
Like that's disrespect. And
hmm.
then to have the guy all up in the on the ring, like how are you promoting that? And like is that fight gonna happen in December? Like they said it was, like Fury
Nah,
didn't even sound like he wanted it.
they're saying he won't be ready. It's gonna happen in February now.
Yeah, yeah, he doesn't want it. And then
Yeah.
so you're gonna tell me after so Wilder's gonna go and put himself through that and he's gonna risk all that for what?
Mm,
Wilder needs to like this is the thing that is so weird is it's all about clout and everybody needs to work on what they need to do in their sport.
mm.
There's still work that Wilder has to do in boxing. And do I want to see him in MMA against who? Ngannou and then in boxing like no, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see Tyson Fury versus Ngannou in MMA. I don't want to
Yeah.
see any. I don't want to see these guys in MMA. You know what I mean? Because we all know what it's gonna be.
Yeah, it's gonna be a massacre. There was something that Connor posted. Connor posted when Ngannou was over Fury and he was doing his dance. And that's another thing. Fury Ngannou's the guy that provided more entertainment. Like he went for
Yeah,
a Superman punch. He was dancing over Fury. He was looking like the more dangerous fighter. But something I have to tell you about Wilder, what he said. Let me read this off. He said, I'm thinking of doing both UFC and boxing. First off, before you said you were down to do PFL, now you're saying UFC. He doesn't know what company Ngannou's with, clearly. Clear.
Yeah, clearly.
Like, but okay, let me keep going. He's like, I'll be a dangerous man in the UFC with 4-ounce gloves. I feel like picking up a big body and slamming him, then getting on top of him and beating the out of him. Hold on. Doesn't this guy have a? Isn't he married to Tully Swift? Isn't Tully Swift his gal? Why is he
Yeah.
talking like? Why is he talking like this? Why?
Like,
Wait, hold on. What's
bro,
going on there?
bro, like, yo, he has these weird tangents where he just like, remember when he was saying how he wanted to kill someone in the ring?
Yeah. He said he
Like,
wanted
he
to
just
catch a
has,
body.
yeah, he has these moments where he just says the most wild stuff, and he knows it, that guy knows how to sell a fight, man, and he knows like he'll just say anything, like.
Yeah.
But the MMA talks, he needs to stop that. Even Javante, when he was saying how in the hood, the first thing we do if we miss the punch, we pick you up and we're slamming you. It's like that's what you think MMA is, and that's why like when these guys go to when MMA mans go to boxing, and you hear mans like Tim Bradley or even Sean Porter does this too,
Mm.
where they'll commentate the boxing versus MMA fights, and they give no respect to the MMA fighters, and it's
Yeah.
like, do you think what do you think would happen to these boxers in when they get to the ground?
Yeah.
Imagine seeing Wilder on his back. Imagine seeing
Oh,
Fury on his back.
it's a wrap.
It's done. It's a wrap.
Because all those guys, they're just heavy from the torso up. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? They're built from the torso up, and yeah, they'll get destroyed. Leg lock, rear naked choke, whatever. They'll get dealt with in a matter of seconds. Matter of
Even
seconds.
in the clinch when Ngannou and Fury would clinch
Mm.
up, like Ngannou was like,
No. There was times. I
yo,
think there
he
was two times where he had Fury. He threw Fury to the ground, and then another time where Fury like slipped down. But you've seen the strength. It doesn't matter that Fury weighed more, and Ngannou's the stronger guy with more power. He's the more intimidating force. Like he
he
has
knows
that
how to
on
use
Fury.
his body.
Yeah.
Pause.
But nah, but seriously, I have to ask you about. I'm gonna give you some fighters. I feel like Francis could be many guys. Like if
Dillian
I
White.
was a part of the like any ranking, the ring, WBC, WBA, whatever, IBF, it doesn't matter. He's out just from that performance because again, he won that fight. To me, right away, he's in the top 6, top 5. But I'm gonna ask you some fighters. I just want a quick yes or no. Is Francis beating them? I'm gonna start with Dillian White.
Yes.
I'm gonna go with up and comer Jared Big Baby Anderson.
Yes.
Okay, this now it's gonna get a little bit more tricky. Andy Ruiz. Oh,
Yeah, I think he can.
you think you could be? Oh, I wasn't sure you're
Mm.
gonna say there. I was like, whoa, are you moving like Wilder now? uh, Jay Lee Wang. This is Zhang. Sorry, damn.
um no.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
no.
I don't
He's
know.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. He's
Yeah, that's
legit.
a tough
He
one.
just
That's a
be
big power.
yeah, big power, and he just beat Joyce twice, right? Um, this is one where obviously we had our back and forth. I think he can just because I've seen AJ quit. I've seen him lose twice to a guy, not make the adjustment. Meanwhile, I've seen Francis lose to a guy in Miocic and then make the adjustments and win the rematch. Who do you see winning between Francis and AJ if they got it?
I think AJ knocks or I think AJ gets knocked out. I think AJ gets knocked
Yeah,
out.
yeah, no,
The
because
way he like he's so shy.
I remember after you said I think Francis beats AJ, so I wasn't sure where you were
Mhm.
standing on that with the I think, but no, I think Francis beats AJ too.
After AJ, like mentally, he just doesn't seem there anymore. And he has the resume. But what was it after his Usyk fight?
Yeah.
The rematch was it where he went on that long speech, and then he was just
And then
went
he
on
took the
that.
belts, right?
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
was like, yo, what the heck? And then he just fought Robert Helenius,
yeah.
and they had a banger. Even though he knocked him out, they had like his face was bloody. He got busted up,
But
and Wilder just dismantled that
he
guy.
exactly. That's exactly where I was gonna go. That's exactly where I was gonna go. I said it on my IG. I was like, if he doesn't knock out Hellenius in 3, then there's problems because Wilder knocked him out in 1.
Yeah.
Although after the fight, Hellenius was tested positive. Regardless, you shouldn't be
Oh,
getting he tested positive after the fight. But regardless, his face shouldn't look like that. And many people said Derek James in his corner will work wonders for him. But is Derek James really that guy anymore? You've seen his fighters getting dismantled. Charlo, Spence. I Derek James probably is not that guy. And that's the thing about AJ. He doesn't stick it out. He doesn't stick with his corner. He's always on the move. Always on the move. That's why I'm scared for AJ's next fight if it's a big one.
I think that's when you see guys start to change their camp over and over again. I think that's a sign where like it's towards the end. Like Tony Ferguson, you're seeing him.
Mm,
He's changing coaches every fight.
mm,
You see a lot of fighters they start to change training camps. They switch training camps. Even in boxing,
yeah,
you don't really see that as much. You know, usually like someone's with a trainer for a really long time or with a coach for a really long time. Triple G when he let when what was it, Abel Sanchez he left after
yeah,
the
yeah.
Canelo fight and they started beefing and then he was still winning, but he was aged, but it was kind of over. You know, it's AJ and AJ's not even that old, which is crazy. And especially with heavyweight boxing, heavyweight boxers box for a long time.
Yeah.
And uh, I don't know what's next for AJ. If he gets the Ngannou fight and they do that in Saudi, I think that would be big. But I think Eddie Hearns is smart enough now to know like
Yeah.
that's too risky right
Yeah.
now.
Well, at the end of the day, Ngannou's a hot man right now. Everybody wants to fight him, and it makes sense, right? It's gonna sell, and it's gonna be a legit fight. It's not gonna be no walkover. It's not gonna be no walk in the park. And it's heavyweight fight, and anything can happen. We know in the smaller weight classes, like Floyd against Connor, okay, like he's gonna get pieced up, right? But
Yeah.
heavyweight fighting, anything, anything can happen. Anything. But enough of the recap of that fight. We're gonna get into the preview of Alex Pereira against who's Pereira fighting again?
Yuri Prohaska.
Yuri. See, that's how long Yuri's been out. Yuri's been out since last year, June.
And it's not even like he has a long resume to lean on.
You know what I'm saying?
He got a title shot in what his first or second fight. His not his after his first fight in the UFC, I'm pretty sure. Second fight.
What before I ask you more on this, I think this has a potential to be like one of the great fights just because both of these guys are go forward type fighters and they're on the feet all the time. Like I honestly think this could be like a Jones Gustafson, like a Izzy Kelvin Gastelum. What are
Yeah.
your thoughts on this fight?
This is a sick fight. And I think Yuri is gonna come back from this injury very, very ready because there's so much questions in this division. The last two title holders in the light heavyweight division relinquished their belt due to injury,
Mm,
Jamal Hill and then him.
mm-hmm.
So right now, tonight, it answers a lot of questions for both the heavyweight and light heavyweight division with the Aspinall Pavlovich fight and then the light heavyweight belt. This is this is the first time in years where the light heavyweight division has been very interesting.
Yeah.
There was a moment where after John Jones tested positive when he beat DC the second time, and then DC won the belt back against Volkan Oezdemir, and then he went up and fought Stipe, and him and Stipe fought how many times in a row?
Agree.
Both divisions were just dead for a long
Yeah.
time. Even when John Jones came back, it was like, okay, Dominic Reyes, Thiago Santos, the
Yeah.
Gustafson fight, like that was a good fight, but the Anthony Smith fight, and John Jones didn't even seem motivated. So the light heavyweight division felt kind of dead for a while until these guys came back and revived it. And
Yeah,
the Yuri and Alex fight is gonna be, I think it's gonna be crazy
yeah, me too.
because Alex is the fight against Blachowicz. That was his first time
Uh,
at 205 in MMA. But also, I don't think Yuri is gonna be looking to wrestle him
Wrestle.
like that.
No.
Yuri Yuri also has a lot of room for error because he does so much goofy things.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? The Glover fight, like if you're that sloppy against Pereira, I think he's just gonna clean him up quick.
yeah, yeah.
You know, he may be able to have a strong chin to rely on for a while, but he gets wobbled. Even in the Dominic Reyes fight, just doing silly stuff where Dominic Reyes actually clipped him from his back, like he was laying down on his back and hit him with his foot or something, and knocked Yuri down, and Yuri fell into his guard, but then woke up. And I don't against a skilled boxer. You just seen Alex Pereira get inducted into the Glory Hall of Fame, the Glory
Yeah,
Kickboxing Hall of Fame, the third fighter to do that.
yeah.
There's he has some serious motivation on his back, especially with a fighter that Glover Teixeira, his partner, came this close to beating, came this close. Glover
That
got
fight
choked out in
was
what the
so
last 30
close.
seconds of the fight. And seeing that, there's a lot of things that Glover's gonna be able to give him advice on.
Yeah.
And it's a kickboxing match. Alex is used to that, and Alex, it's not like Alex's ground game is suspect. He's not that
It's not
stand
the
up.
greatest though. It's not the greatest.
But it's not. But it's
Like
not
it
like
like if Izzy could take you down, that's not a good look though, fam.
yeah. But also with the thing about Alex is I don't see Alex as that guy where once he like I trust him to get up.
Mm.
He's not that guy that's gonna get taken down and lay on his back for the whole round. There's a lot of guys that'll come from kickboxing and you can't trust their ground game at all. Even guys in MMA, their takedown defense is horrible. Like a Kevin Holland. You're watching Kevin Holland, he'll rock the guy and then no takedown defense.
Yeah.
Zero takedown defense. Alex is a guy that has the takedown defense. If you take him down, he has the ability to get back up. And he's not a small guy. In the
Yeah.
Jan fight, he was looking bigger than Jan. He was towering over Izzy,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
he
for
has a
sure.
big frame, and
Yeah, yeah,
so I
no.
don't think he'll be an easy guy to just throw around, and I don't think Yuri has that that grappling skill to even really take that fight to make the fight like that. Make it I don't think he's gonna mix it up. It's gonna be a very stand up fight. He loves he's that has that whole character where he's in the forest and he's hiding in the dark for a long time, and you see the videos he makes, and he's gonna come out to strike, and he's gonna throw some wild stuff. And I think Alex is just gonna clip him and get him together quickly.
I actually have Alex winning the fight. He recently was in New York and he was fighting an Olympic boxer. I don't know if you've seen it, but the guy with the headgear on was the boxer. Alex Pereira was sparring him, no headgear,
And it
no
was
shirt
the boxer
on.
was a little bit smaller than him, right?
Yeah, yeah, bro, he was
I seen
banging
that.
with
He was
him. He
I
was
seen that.
banging. That
I seen
was
that.
no, that impressed me. He was banging with an Olympic boxer, no headgear on, no shirt on, while this guy has his shirt on, has his cup, has his headgear. No, that was his boxing skills are so elite, and his resume, like he's beaten current champion Sean Strickland, he's beaten former champs, obviously Blachowicz, as you mentioned, and Izzy. Yeah, I'm gonna ride with Alex in this. I'm assuming you're gonna say the same.
Yeah, Alex by knockout. And what's respectable about Alex is it's obvious that he's getting speed rush titles because of that. When he came, as soon as he came into MMA, came to the UFC, it was the guy that knocked out Izzy is here.
Mm-hmm.
He's been talked about before he was even in the UFC, and he's they're giving him the speed rush to the titles, and he's winning the fights. He's knocking out Strickland quickly.
Well
When he
deserved.
fought Bruno Silva, he was holding him. He held it down, and he got he held it down, got the decision win. And so
Mm-hmm.
even against Izzy, knocking him out, losing the rematch, but there's some guys that failed that test, like Hamzat. I don't think Hamzat is like going up to 185. I expected him to crush Usman, and that fight with Usman, if Strickland denies the takedowns in the second round, and it's a 5 round fight, how does Hamzat look when Strickland is just walking forward, flicking that jab at him?
Yeah.
One twos, high pace fight. because there was a long period in the second round of the Usman fight, Usman Hamza, where they're just standing in front of each other. It's not going to be like that with
No way.
Strickland.
No
And
chance. He moves.
so respect to Alex for passing these tests because he's getting speed ran through these divisions and he's passing the tests and he's has a good resume so far in MMA.
Yeah, that's just a guy that he just loves fighting. Simple and plain. He's just always down to scrap. Okay. Co-main, real quick. You got Pavlovich, you got Aspinall. Why?
Um, that fight, I'm Dana White said how he didn't want to disrespect Stipe and offer him an interim title fight. But I
Mm,
seen Stipe say that he doesn't know why he wasn't offered the fight or whatever. And I thought it was gonna put John Jones in a situation where he was saying how all these guys don't interest him, and I think he was looking to retire after the Stipe fight. So I thought this fight was gonna put John Jones in a situation so he's gonna have to fight Aspinall or Pavlovich. I think Aspinall is gonna win the fight, but I I thought that John Jones was gonna like have to get a real test before leaving the UFC. It wasn't just gonna be a Miocic because I think we all assume Miocic is gonna lose because Miocic hasn't fought in how long? He's like 40 years old.
yeah.
Like it's done. And
It's hard to come back from a devastating knockout like that also.
yeah, and
Ngannou really took some cells from him that night.
yeah,
Really
yeah.
did. But
And even DC knocked him out too. Like he's been getting clipped, and so
mm,
when I seen that Dana White said that how the winner of this fight is gonna have to wait for John Jones and Stipe. And so I'm thinking to myself like, so you're gonna have an interim title fight, and then the interim title fighter is gonna watch
mm,
like we already know that the fight is gonna be John Jones versus Stipe. So what's the point of the interim title fight? It
yeah,
makes no sense to me. And I think the interim title fight was just I think it was just an excuse or it gave their UFC was trying to give Aspinall and Pavlovich a reason to accept the fight. So here, take the interim title fight. So you're known to get like you're guaranteed to get the heavyweight title shot after. But I hope John Jones or Stipe, whoever wins, stays around to fight the winner of Aspinall Pavlovich.
we just never know. And even with you mentioning the Stipe not understanding why he didn't get an interim. You know how it is with Dana, man. A lot of stuff is lost in translation with Dana.
Yeah, yeah.
He's just one of those owners. He's just one of those naive, oh, that's how it is, my way or the highway type guy. But hey, man,
Mm,
he has a wonderful product. And yeah, that's what we got today. It's your boy Jayo Sto. My boy Dede came through, obviously
yeah,
spitting facts. Man, I have to say one more thing, man. We need Ngannou to fight at least twice a year. I'm not gonna go overboard and say 3 times, 4 times, twice a year. This guy is
yeah.
boxing. Everybody, please subscribe, like, and comment.